fuck being black. I'm out.
Did you hear that? He said, F being black, I'm out. So what you gonna do? Like change your race?
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
I'm sorry, they haven't figured that out yet as far as science goes. You can change your gender, but I don't think you can change your race. I'll wait. Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. So today we're going to be taking a look at this young man who talks about how being black just ain't beautiful. And it's mainly because of how he gets treated. And we're going to go ahead and see if we agree or disagree with what he has to say.
I don't really care about you guys judging me with what I'm getting ready to talk about in my video, you know. But let me just say this for the record. I don't like being a black man, because I feel that one thing I'm starting to realize in life is that, you know, you start seeing life for what it is the older you get. And it just seems that when you're a black man, society really doesn't respect you. If you look at other races of people, you notice how other races of women respect their men, but yet black women don't respect their men. Other races of women respect their men. Black women are the only race of women who don't respect their men. You got a lot of black women who will say that there's no good black men available, and they'll go reverence a white man or a man of another race than to reverence their own race of men. Being a black man is hell. Society, like I said, has a negative perception of black men. If I had it my way, I wouldn't even be a black man.
Wow, that's pretty harsh. He doesn't even really like being black, and he feels like he's destined to experience negative things. What do you think of that?
Okay, I'm not going to say you're destined to experience negative things, but I've said this to people plenty of times, and they've always looked at me, but I've always felt that amongst like all races of people, black people are probably one of the most hated races. Don't ask me why. It's like most countries you go to, the ones being mistreated or on, what should I say, or find themselves on the end of some form of racism, is 9 times out of 10 it's always going to be black people. I kind of understand where he's coming from. Me, I've never hated being black, but at the same time, it's one of those things that, at least here in America, even though some people be like, oh, racism isn't there anymore. Yeah, you're going to encounter somebody that, if you don't know you were black, they're definitely going to remind you. Let's just put it that way.
You know what? I can't say that I have firsthand dealt with anything super racist. I mean, the one thing that stands out to me when I was in high school, and I talk about this in one of my older videos called like Why Being Mixed Sucks. But I was going to a predominantly white high school, and I was wearing my hair down, you know, like pretty much how it is right now. And you guys can see, you know, the grade of hair that I have. It's kind of frizzy when you don't have a whole lot of product in it. When I'm just natural, I got a little bit of frizz, you know. So I was sitting there in the gymnasium, and there was some girls sitting behind me on the bleachers. And one of the girls ended up putting like lotion in my hair. And she was like pretty much saying that it was dry. Like I could hear them saying that from behind, like, wow, her hair's like really dry or something. But I didn't realize they were putting anything in my hair, because I have so much hair, you guys, that like if somebody just drops a few things on the back of my head, I'm not going to feel it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've always had a lot of hair like that. So I didn't know. But then like when I left, and my best friend who was sitting with me ended up getting behind me at one point, she was like, oh my gosh, you have like lotion in your hair. And she like wiped it out. But it was just one of those things. And they were white girls who did this, you know. So I don't know if they were just like hating on me because I was a freshman sitting in the sophomore section, which it could have been, you know, just some form of mistreatment of a freshman, which happened. You know how they had Freshman Friday in high school. Or if they really just looked at me as like, you know, some other race that had frizzy hair and they didn't understand it. So they were like, let me just make fun of it. That's probably the only thing that ever happened to me from white people. I can't say that I've ever been mistreated in any other way. Like, I don't have a story where some white man like pulled me over and like gave me a ticket because I was black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that story. So I can't say that. But I guess in the black community, I've had my share of experiences of feeling like I didn't belong because I was so fair-skinned and questionably black, I guess.
There's also what he said about other races, women mistreating them. And you know what? Gosh, I have mixed feelings about that because maybe if it was maybe 5, 10 years back, I would say that. But because of how the internet is now, I see a lot. I Let me rephrase that. I normally see it amongst, yes, amongst our women, black women, but I have started to see it amongst uh, white women as well. They Now white women, they don't really call their men specifically trash. Most of them just say all men are trash, and it's like, I mean, whatever. It's
You have this dynamic in America now where men and women are kind of against each other, and it has nothing to do with race. It's like strictly gender at this
it's more
point.
like a gender war.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have ran across a lot of our sisters that would say, black men ain't filling the blank, and
I need
so,
to find me a white king, stuff like that. Like,
but see, the thing that they fail to realize is like, you ever heard that grass is greener on the other side? It's like you might be looking at it and it might look good to you until you actually get there. That old Bible saying that let me rephrase that people have forgotten is do unto others as you will have them do unto you. Whether you be a man or a woman, if you kept that at the forefront of your mind, you wouldn't have these problems, regardless of race.
I got a question for you. You've dated outside your race before, right?
I've always been, for my race.
Okay. Well, I mean, what's been I guess I can't really ask that because you ended up marrying black too.
I haven't really dated outside my race, but one thing that I did find interesting is that a lot of the other races, when I interacted with them, most of them, I can't say it was all the time, but most of them, when I interacted with them, like first time, trying to get to know them, trying to maybe spit some game or whatnot, they weren't taken aback and disgusted. Because I've run across a lot of my sisters who was disgusted. It's like,
disgusted by you?
Yeah.
Why?
You approach them. Maybe I approached them on a bad day. Like me, I consider myself an average looking guy, and I'm not gonna say I'm ugly, but yes, I would. It would be like this. It's like it's almost like in a quick appraisal. It's like It's like look up and down because you know me.
Maybe you don't wear the type of clothes that they're used to.
My swag isn't like what should I say, the typical.
I can agree with that.
The typical urban guy.
Urban dude. I can say that. Like your swag, the way that you talk, probably even the way that you like carry yourself in a public setting, like you don't act like a typical, black guy. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but you kind of remind me of like a suburbanized black person, like a suburban black guy. Some people may even say that you act white in some ways, but I don't.
I've had that.
I don't see a problem with it, because people have said that about me too. So I think that we're like almost a perfect match because if I act white and I don't necessarily dress all, urban and stuff and you don't, then, we're not judging each other for that. You know what I mean?
Should we be saying urban? I don't know. How is it how most people would assume
more urbanized. And no judgment against people who do that, like straight up. Like I got people in my family who do stuff like that, and it's no judgment. It's just not what we do. So because we don't do that, we don't fit the normal culture that, you know what I'm saying? But what's crazy is like I've dated black guys that were considered the urban ones that dressed like that and bought the Jordans and bought this and did that, and it's like I don't think like, and it's in some ways they were like, oh, you act white or you dress white or you do this white, but I think they just accepted it. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I guess, the difference between men and women. Like black men will accept a black woman who doesn't act the way they want them to, but black women, sometimes they don't.
I really wouldn't. And I know I've said this before and I'll say it again. Because it just seems like when you're a black man, you're just destined to experience a lot of negative shit in life. In order to be respected, in order to be seen in a positive light by black women, especially black women, it's like as a black man, you have to be an exception to the rule. It's like if you a black man who's mixed, or if you a black brother who's light skinned, you'll get respected. You know what I'm saying? You'll get more respect.
Okay, you're saying not true to the fact that he said if you're a black man who's light skinned, you automatically get respected. That's just his own opinion as probably a brown skinned black man. But what do you say?
Okay. I really wish people would go to a light skinned person or a mixed person who's down to earth. The reason why I say down to earth, because we all know it's people, regardless of men and women, that have some inflated
Delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, it's like they have this overinflated ego that it's like I'm better and all this. So they it's like maybe their confidence is overwhelming. But most down to earth, light skinned or biracial people, they're gonna let you know. It's like, look, I don't know what you're seeing because I don't experience the life that you say I'm supposed to experience, that you believe I'm experiencing. I don't experience that. I've never once felt I was better than you or anybody else. Hey, the same bull crap you going through, I go through. Hey, I might even go through it worse because, hey, at least, I mean, shoot, I can't even go amongst my own people without some of them feeling some type of way about my complexion. And the Caucasian people, they're going to look at me the same way they look at you. You ever heard that one drop rule? Is there.
You know, and what's crazy is, like, while I agree with you, I can see their side of it because they know from their experience. Like, you got some black people, some brown skin and dark skin, and even some light skinned people that believe that ideology of light is right and light skin is better or more attractive. But most people realize, like, it doesn't really matter about the color. It's more about who you are, first of all, how you treat people. And then you're like, overall attractiveness, like your weight, your height, your body ratios, your symmetry. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that people generally find attractive. I think that it's just a misconception, really. And I think people think that life is so much easier, the grass is so much greener on the other side, but everybody has their plights in life. So while you may be dark skinned and you may go through what you go through as a dark skinned person, please believe that just because someone's skin is lighter than yours, that they're not perfect and their life is not so much better than yours, because they still got stuff and they still got issues and they still got flaws and they still got things that other people have to accept about them that may be considered incorrect.
They have to accept about themselves.
Right. Nobody is perfect. If you're a human freaking being, you got something wrong with you. Okay. And not only do you have something wrong with you, but you've been through some stuff, whether it be your family, whether it be in school or whatever. You done been through some level of physical, mental, sexual abuse in your life. You done been through something. Something happened to you along the way. Nobody goes through life without anything happening to them just because they're light skinned. Like, that's like the craziest thing I think I've ever heard. One day you may wake up in a light skinned body. Who knows? Maybe not in this life. Maybe there's a such thing as reincarnation. I don't know. But maybe on your next life, you'll be as white as snow. And you will realize that even if you're white, you still gonna go through something.
I got nothing to say.
All right.
From black women versus if you a regular brother. Especially if you're a black man who doesn't fit the negative stereotype that you see on TV. As a black man, you don't really get respect for being decent. My dad, when I was young, he told me that the world hates a nigga. He told me that, you know, it's hard being a black man and about, you know, how hard life is and, you know, the experiences that you're going to experience as a black man. Now I see why he said what he said. Being a black man is not beautiful. Like my dad told me, the world hates a nigga. That's the honest to God truth. The world does hate a nigga. It's like, as a black man, you have to try extra hard to gain the approval of people. People already feel some type of way about you. They already have a negative opinion about you. And it's absolutely disgusting, other races of men and how their women respect them and how their women treat them like kings. But black women have absolutely no respect for a black man. I really believe that black women hate black men. You never see any other race of female degrade their men the way black men do. Have you ever seen a Hispanic woman or a Caucasian woman tell their man that he ain't shit?
Now, okay, he's saying that black women have hatred for black men, and he's never in his life seen a white or a Hispanic woman, for instance, say that their man isn't crap. What say you?
You know what? Okay. I have mixed feelings. We degrade ourselves because if you go turn on shows, music videos with rappers, television, I mean, if you look at what we allow the media to push, we pander to. Okay, so I don't see other races of women degrading their men like that, but at the same time, we gotta recognize our part in it too. And when I say our part, we also don't speak highly of our women. But don't get me wrong, because I'm not gonna be like, what's his name, Dr. Omar, that says oh, if they disrespect you, don't say anything. No. But at the same time, I think it's through our actions. I mean, how many do we see any famous Caucasian celebrities with a bunch of women always in their videos shaking their behind? I mean, think about it. Most of our celebrities, as far as rappers or singers go, they're always singing about sex or money. I mean, so we kind of degrade ourselves. But at the same time, I'm not going to say all the fault lies with them.
Now, I have seen that in my lifetime. I've seen black women call their men ain't crap and stuff like that. But it's never like the black men that actually do what they're supposed to do. I've never seen a black man who went to work every day, paid all his bills, owned a home or a business, and did right by his family and his wife be called an ain't crap man. The ones that I saw weren't crap were the ones that cheated and were the ones that, you know, didn't hold down a job and didn't pay bills and stuff like, and didn't have a business and were in the streets selling drugs and stuff like that and ended up in jail and not having no money.
Where I feel we make the mistake is we want to lump everybody into that category. And the same way, I don't feel I fall in line with the stereotypical black male that lives in Detroit. We can't say that everybody falls in line with the stereotype. So it's wrong to just call everybody that.
I mean, let's just hear what else he's got to say. It's a few more minutes, you guys.
That's why I've come to the conclusion that black women have hatred for black men. They don't like black men. When I was young, I was not aware that people had so much hatred for black men, but people really do hate black men. As if I stated before, I'm not proud to be a black man, you know, because I really see that people really do feel some type of way about you when you're a black man. If I had a choice, hell, I wouldn't mind being Puerto Rican. Shit. And, you know, I know a lot of people will say that, oh, you got self-hate. You don't love yourself. This is something that I really wanted to talk about because if you really think about it, and I want you guys to think about it as well, there ain't shit beautiful about being a black man. And it's like, as a black man, you can't even be an average looking brother to be seen as good looking by a black woman. It's like it's like as a black man, in order to be seen as good looking, it's like you gotta be above average. You can't be like a 6 or a 7. You gotta be an 8, 9, 10. You gotta be an exceptional type of black man in order for a black woman to see you as attractive and respect you. And I truly believe that if I was a part of any other race, a lot of the shit that I've experienced, I would have never experienced it. That's why my attitude is like, fuck being black. I'm out.
Did you hear that? He said, F being black, I'm out. So what you gonna do? Like change your race?
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
I'm sorry, they haven't figured that out yet as far as science goes. You can change your gender, but I don't think you can change your race.
Now, you remember earlier I said we allow them to do it?
Who?
When I said we, I mean us as black men.
You allow who to do what?
What should I say? Black women to disrespect us.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, because here's the thing. We as men, we need to know our worth or whatnot. And the thing is, yes, it's always going to be ones that's, it's always going to be trashy people regardless of what race. But when I say, when you're a decent person, know your worth, don't take any bull crap. And when I say bull crap, it's like if you know you're doing right by somebody and they want to shame you or want to try to, I don't know, degrade you in any type of way, kick them to the curb. There is plenty of fish in the sea. And the thing is, it's like me, I mean, I'm not going to be somebody that, don't get me wrong, just because I've always dated inside my race doesn't mean I'm going to be somebody that says, oh, only date inside your race. No, go for who makes you happy. Because just because I've always dated inside my race doesn't mean that, like, say circumstances was different had I not met my wife and met somebody else from a different race that I vibed with, I wouldn't go with them. Because even though I've always dated inside my race, I've never been just focused on that. I've always been focused on what makes me happy at the end of the day. So if you can't find a woman, I would like to address this brother right here if I can actually talk to him. But if you can't find a woman within your own race, Find somebody outside your race. It doesn't matter.
Like, if you're experiencing that, it's because that's who you've chosen to date, number one. Because not all black women are like that. I'm a black woman, and I'm not like that. Like, I don't do stuff like that to disrespect my man. So it's like, I mean, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not like in his face, poking his forehead, you know, yelling over him, won't let him speak type of thing. So I think that if you've ended up with that type of woman who does that to you, it's because you've chosen her. You've chosen to put up with her. Because there's better black women out there. You don't necessarily have to date outside your race to find a good woman. Now, I don't discourage it either, because obviously I'm a mixed race person, so I'm all for, you know, finding different shades of love. But I chose my racially ambiguous man because, not because of what he looked like, not because of what he, you know, his skin tone or anything weird like that. It's because of who he was and how he made me feel. And like you said, if somebody makes you feel happy and like you can build something with them, like literally build, not just like make me happy for the moment, but like literally build future wise, like, then yeah, like you're for me. And I think that's what most people want. They want a future. And sometimes it's not just about what you can do for me now. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that can make you happy for a night, but can you make me happy for a lifetime is the real question.
Well, you shouldn't be looking for somebody else to make you happy anyway. But
I mean, yeah, okay, let me rephrase it. Like, not that I'm looking for you to make me happy, because my happiness comes from within, right? But it's like one of those situations where you can end up with somebody that takes away from your sanity, somebody that takes away from your finances, somebody that takes away from a lot, and they don't add anything to you. So it's like, at the end of the day, if I can't rely on you, if you're not the kind of person that, hey, you know, I need a ride somewhere, or I need $20 or something, you know, just to get something, whatever, or I need this or I need that. If I can't rely on you for small things, then I damn sure can't rely on you for the big ones. You know what I'm saying? Definitely leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about this. Don't forget to, exactly what he said. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We love you and appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.